Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I am a simple creature. When I see that there's a new puzzle by Kaktuslav recommended to me, I click the link. We're going to be trying a puzzle called Satellite today, and it's got some play on counting. Well, it's not counting circles, but we're going to have to count how many times digits appear on lines to solve this puzzle, which is a jolly colourful thing. Correctly, I think it's about average difficulty, if I'm not misremembering, and it's meant to be wonderful, as of course are all Kaktuslav puzzles. So we'll have a look at the rules to this one in a moment or two's time. Now, a rule set that I particularly didn't like was yesterday's puzzle. Where is it? Here it is. The culprit, lost and found by the most enormous coterie of some of the world's best Sudoku setters. But this puzzle was evil. It was purely evil because one of the rules was that in any row or column or three by three box, you had to have exactly 8 unique digits. So one digit would repeat, and that just breaks your brain, or at least it broke my poor brain. Thank you very much to all those of you, and there have been a lot of you who watched all of that magnum opus video yesterday, an hour and a half of struggle for me. And I even had emails about it. I'll particularly actually thank Eric from East Texas, who I think it became a sort of family affair, shouting at the screen yesterday, but it was a very kind email, Eric. I did appreciate it, and if you do want to laugh, if you don't want to laugh, have a go at the puzzle. It will break you. If you do want to laugh, watch my attempt at the puzzle, and that might entertain you, as it did Eric's family. Anyway, that's yesterday's video, as I say. Now, I've got loads of news for you today, because it's the first of the month. In fact, I'm going to start off with, it's the first day of Advent, obviously. And somebody whose puzzles we've solved at least a couple of times on the channel is Nathan Surgener, who has set up a website. Let me just show you this. I hope that's sort of visible. It's called mindyourmango.co.uk. And Nathan has basically created a sort of advent calendar with cryptic crosswords and Sudokus in support of the mental health charity Mind. So a very, very worthwhile charity, in my opinion, and we thought we'd share this with you in case some of you want to have a go, some of you want to support Mind. Do have a look, and I think you'll have a lot of fun there, and of course be supporting a very worthy cause. It's been astonishing to Mark and I how much this channel affects people's mental health. I think mainly in a good way, and yeah, so it's something we are acutely aware of and are keen to support and promote where we can. Now, other than that, if you're a patron of the channel, you must go over, and probably have already been over, to Patreon this afternoon, where at 4 p.m. UK time we have launched our brand new competition, The Wind in the Willows. And this is it's got a bit of an Advent theme as well. Mole has got to sort out his Advent calendar. There are 13 puzzles in all in the competition for you to have a look at. There's all sorts of variety in there, including Fog of War. The puzzles are great. They really are. And I think everybody will have a lot of fun. The prize, as it has been for the last few months, is the chance to come on the channel with me. We'll solve the puzzle together. We'll record it, and hopefully it'll become a video. I have let Don know. Don, who won November's competition. Haven't heard from Don yet as to whether or not he's going to take the plunge, but we'll keep my fingers crossed about that. Now, oh yes, this evening at 10 p.m. UK time, we're streaming again. I'm really looking forward to this. We're going back to the Blueprints Mansion after I completed, what was it, day 36 by video last week. So, I mean, it's been a blast. Well, for Mark and me, it's been a blast. Do join us, 10 p.m. UK time. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen. Blueprints is an incredible, incredible game. And I've got birthdays to do today. Let me do these. I've got to say happy birthday to Evan from your mum, Judy. Mum Judy is in the Catskills on the East Coast. Catskills, pigeon toes, a train's revealed, a train's obscured, a quote around a broken cup. I like to see it lap the miles and lick the valleys up. I mustn't do the whole thing. But anyway, Judy's in the Catskills. Evan is in San Francisco, so quite some way away. But Judy assures me that, Evan, you're a big fan of brownies and chocolate cake, so I hope that you have a great birthday today, and I hope the chocolate cake is very well iced. And Judy, thank you for enjoying Classic Sudoku 2, our new app too. I'm delighted you're enjoying it. It is super. Lynn, it's your birthday today. Now, Lynn, the email that we had about your birthday was from somebody, maybe they were called T? I'm not sure. It was very hard to detect who these birthday wishes are from, but I'm going to say from T. But anyway, Lynn, it's your birthday. Apparently you've been watching the channel almost since the beginning. Now, that is a long time ago. When did we actually kick off this journey? Was it 2017, around the summer there of 2017? And we've been doing 2 videos a day since the start of the first COVID pandemic. So there's been a reasonable amount of output in that time. And Lynn, I'm assured that you enjoy all the channel's antics. Is that what we do? Do we commit antics? Anyway, if we do, thank you for watching, Lynn. Yeah, we are really appreciative. I mean, for those people who've been with us for that amount of time, that is extraordinary. It is extraordinary. So thank you very much. I hope the chocolate cake is good. Next, Simone. Simone, you turned 27 today. And I know this because your partner Matthew wrote to us and told me that you've been together as a couple for 7 years and you watch every night while trying to solve the puzzles together. Well, thank you for doing that. And Simone, I hope it's a great birthday with, of course, excellent chocolate cake. And next we'll go to the USA. I'm not sure exactly where, but Tony, you have turned 47 today. And I know this because your wife Nicole wrote to us and said, not only do you watch every day, but you've done all the apps and all the puzzles in our books. Now that is a lot of solving. So Tony, well, props to you for getting through all of that stuff. And I hope you have a great birthday today, wherever you are in the US. And I hope the chocolate cake obviously is good. And then finally, I'm late with this one. Connor wrote to us yesterday wanting to wish his friend Sean many happy returns for yesterday, and we didn't realise. So Sean, I think you've been away studying in France for this semester, but you watch the channel while you're studying. Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's important to give yourself mental breaks. Sean, I hope yesterday was good, and I hope the cake was excellent. And that's all the news. Let's have a look at Satellite by the great Kaktuslav. The rules are as follows. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply, so we're going to have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. And I cannot tell you how much that fills me with joy. We have to put the digits once each into every row, column, and box. I will say it again, once each, and that is super. And that is exactly where my brain wants to be after yesterday. Now, counting by colour constraints, every digit on a line of colour C counts how many, that's C, the letter C, counts how many times that digit appears on all lines of colour C. For instance, if there is a 3 on a green line, 3, then there are exactly 3 3s on all green lines combined. Yeah, okay, so it's like counting circles, if you've ever seen that rule in variant Sudoku, but this time it's applied to all lines of the same colour. So if we were to put, I don't know, I don't want to really guess this. Oh, the digit I was about to put there is impossible. I was about to put an 8 there, and that doesn't work. If you put 8 there, that would be suggesting, I think, that there are 8 8s on blue lines. And actually, that doesn't work for reasons that I will let you grok on your own. Anyway, that's how the rule works. And there's a couple of rules for these lines as well. It says, German whispers decorated with squares adjacent digits along a green line differ by at least 5. So if this digit is a 1, that digit has to be at least 6 to be sufficiently different. It's got to be at least 5 different, so it could be 6, 7, 8, or 9. Parity lines are decorated with circles. Oh, is this to help people who are colourblind? That's really good. I was wondering why the decorations and whether it was to do with creating a picture of a satellite, but I think it's actually to aid with colour blindness, which is incredibly kind of Kaktuslav. So, parity lines decorated with circles. Adjacent digits along a red line have different parity. So one of them is even and the other is odd. Right, so yes, if this was even, I usually use blue for even, then this would be odd. And now this one would have to be even. So they have to oscillate, basically, the parity as you move along the lines. And there's one more rule. Region sum lines which have no decorations. Box borders divide each blue line into segments of equal sum. And the sum may be different for different lines. So what you have to do, you can see that this blue line here, it spends 2 cells in box 2. And then it moves into box 1. And then it moves into box 4, and the sum of these greens would be the same as the sum of these yellows, would be the same as the sum of these purples, and that's how blue lines work. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play Let's Get Cracking. Now my normal strategy with counting puzzles is to count the instances. Well, so for example, we could count all of the green line cells, couldn't we? I think I'm more actually, am I? No, I'm not. I was going to say I'm going to count the green cells because there are some secrets I can share with you about green cells. But I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to do red cells, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. So that surely is very helpful because there are 16 red cells and we know that the red cells oscillate parity. How many even cells are there amongst those 16 cells? Well, all the lines are of even length, so there's got to be 8 even cells. And those, yeah, and the now I want to now say, and I think it's right, without questioning my sanity. This is what yesterday's puzzle's done to me. It's made me question everything. Yeah, I think it's right. So now we know that the even digits on the red lines, and there are 8 such digits, have to sum to 8, don't they? So they must be 2 and 6. I think. There'll be 2 2s on the red lines. There'll be 6 6s on the red lines. And those digits sum to 8, and that makes total sense because there are 8 even digits. There's no other way. If you think about the even Sudoku numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8, how could you? Hang on. You could have 8 8s. I didn't think of that. And you probably do now, don't you? Because that's going to make me look silly, and that's what happened. Yeah, you look. Oh, bobbins. Oh, bobbins. Right, hang on. Let's check 8 8s. 1, 2. Because every pair can have an 8 on. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you could put 1 there if you put it exactly there. 5, 6, 7. Oh, right. So I don't know what it is then. It's either 8 8s or a 2, or 2 2s and 6 6s, and I don't think we can tell. I'm deeply suspicious it's 8 8s actually. Yeah, I mean, if it, yeah, I mean, the only box, okay, maybe we can disprove 8 8s, because the 8 in box 3 is definitely not on a red line. So all the other 8s in the puzzle would have to be on red lines, which means that every other box other than this one, every other box's 8 must be on a red line, which actually is going to place an 8 here, isn't it? Because there's an 8 in one of those 2 cells, therefore. There's an 8 in one of these 2 cells, therefore. And there must be an 8 on this line. And if there was an 8 here, you couldn't put an 8 there and an 8 there. So that would breach the rules about all 8 other 8s other than this one having to be on red lines. So 8 would be here. 8 would be there. 8 would be there. 8 would be there. 8 would be there. There. Oh, no, this is going to work. No, it's definitely going to work. Okay, no, I can't disprove it. Bother. Okay, let's try. Well, let's think quickly about odd numbers, but I think odd numbers are going to be even worse than even numbers, because there's more than one way of doing it. We need the 8 odd numbers that exist on the red lines to sum to 8, and that could be 1 and 7 or 3 and 5. I said, okay, one thing we do know is, and maybe this will be important, is that the red lines never contain the digit 9 now. Because if they did, there would be 9 9s, and that simply doesn't work for many reasons. Firstly, the 9 in that box would not be on a red line, but secondly, there are only 8 odd digits on the red lines, so to have 9 9s on them is paradoxical. Okay, so that's not right. Let's go back to the green lines then, which was my first thought, and is exactly probably where I should have started. So how many green cells have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 2 less. So we've got 14 green cells. Now, yeah, there's something going on there as well, but I can't quite see it quickly. Let's talk about the secrets of green cells, and hopefully my brain will concoct some sort of logic that's useful. So the first and most obvious secret about a green cell is it can never contain the digit 5. And that's because the adjacent digit now needs to be at least 5 different from 5. Now, there's nothing, if we go lower than 5, obviously we immediately get to 0 and negative numbers, and they're not Sudokuable. If we go 5 more than 5, we get to 10 or higher, and they aren't Sudokuable. So 5 simply doesn't live on a green line. Now what that means is that every single digit you place on a green line has one of 2 qualities. It will either be below 5, or it will be above 5. And that may seem an incredibly fatuous thing to say, but it's important a bit, because what you have to realise is you can never put 2 digits of the same polarity, if you like. So if this is lower than 5, you can never put it next to another digit that's lower than 5, because these digits won't be far enough apart from each other. The furthest they could be apart is 1 and 4, which are only 3 apart. Similarly, if these were 6, 7, 8, 9, the furthest these can be apart is 3 as well, 6 and 9. So you get oscillation. Now, this is a bit tricky actually, because we can immediately say, therefore, that there must be a high digit on the green lines, because in this pairing here, one of the digits will be a 6, 7, 8 or 9. Same true here, same true here, same true here. Okay. But, okay, so here's an interesting point. No joke. So how many parties? there can't be two high digits on green lines. I can actually see two reasons for that now. But one reason is the following. What's the maximum number of high digits you could put in this pattern of digits? Each of these little couplings we've just highlighted, each of these can have one high digit on it. Now these, in theory, you could put two high digits if you were to put them in those particular cells. If you put the high digit in the middle, these two will be low. So if you put them there, you're not maximizing your number of high digits. So you could put them there. So the maximum number of high digits is actually going to be 8, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 on there, 1 on there, 1 on there, 1 on there. So that's 8. Now, so if we had two different high numbers on the green lines, that's just not going to work. 6 and 7 would be the lowest, and 6 and 7 add to 13, and there are a maximum of 8 high digits. But there's another problem with digits like 6 and 7, I think. And this might get to the heart of it, because if you do put a 6 on a green line, it just can't work. And that's because the digit 1 is going to be a problem. Because every time you put a 6 on a green line, what digit is adjacent to it? It's only got one viable option, and that's the digit 1. So by the time you've put 6 6s on the green lines, you'd have put 6 1s on the green lines at least. I mean, if you put a 6 there, you'll have put 2 1s on the green lines. But that's not going to work, is it? Because the 1s are also meant to count how many times they appear on the green lines. So we can't put 6. If we put 1 on the green line, we have to put 1 1 on the green lines. So 6 isn't going to go on. And now 7, I think, might have the same issue, because if you put 7 on a green line, 7 can be next to 1 or 2. Now, yeah, it doesn't work. You can immediately see if it... Oh, actually, hang on. I don't think it works. I'm not actually certain now, but I'm going to check. If you put 7 on a green line, it has to be next to 1 or 2 in order to be sufficiently different, 5 apart. Now, 2s there could be 2 of. 1s there can be 1 of. So there are a maximum of 3 low digits that could cater for the 7 7s we're going to put on green lines. But I'm just wondering, if I put the 7s in those positions, and say I put, I don't know, 2s between them. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't nearly work even, does it? Because I've used my 2 2s now. I've only got 1 1 left, and I've got 3 7s left to put on. So I'm going to run out of low digits. It simply doesn't work. So this is beautiful. And this is what... Oh, no, I've now understood. I've understood everything. Finally. Oh, you've been shouting at me again. Right. So now, what have we deduced? We have deduced that on the green lines, there is a maximum of 1 high digit. It can't be bigger than 8, because you can't put more than 8 high digits on this particular arrangement of green lines. It can't be 6 or 7, so it is 8. That's the first thing we've concluded. So we have to put 8 8s on the green lines. But to do that, we're going to have to put them in these positions, aren't we? And that's actually beautiful, because now there are 4 8s looking at the middle box. So we can put an 8 in the middle there. There has to be an 8 on this one, which is there. I think it's just going to give us all the 8s, isn't it? Now we have to put an 8 on that one, and we have to put an 8 on that one. And now we've got 8 8s in the grid, so there's another 8 in the corner there. But therefore, we've got, because there were 14 digits in green altogether, we've got to put 6 low digits next to these 8s. But we can never use the digit 4, because 4 and 8 are not 5 apart. So these have to be the digits 1, 2 and 3, and that's 3 3s, 2 2s and a 1, and that does add up to 6, so it works perfectly. But there's more, isn't there? because now we can return to the red lines, which I started with stupidly, and the red lines now, which we knew had to have 8 even digits on them. Now that can't be 8 8s, because all the 8s have been placed in the grid, so there's no 8s left to put on the red lines. So it is 2 and 6 on the red lines. Now, let me just think about that. Does that help me then? So every domino of red line has either 2 or 6 on it. I'm not sure how to do that, actually. So there are 2 2s on red lines and 6 6s. And then there's going to be 2 odd digits as well that sum to 8. So they're 1 7 or 3 5. I don't know how to do that. I'm so sorry. I think my brain is telling me that there's a way that we know, but annoyingly, my brain is not telling me how I know that. I'm not sure. So maybe we have to be a bit more circumspect. Maybe we have to think about the blue lines. I mean, the blue lines at first blush do not look very propitious to me, because we haven't got, what we've got here is 2 cell segments equating with each other, except there's a 3-celler, but it's still equating with a 2-cell segment. So I don't think, normally blue lines are really good if you have, say, if you had this blue line. That's quite helpful, because this digit is the sum then of those 3 cells. So you know that this is at least a 6. But here, we know, I mean, if we think about the mathematics of it, we know that the sum of the digits on the blue lines will be divisible by 3. That is something I think we know. And the way I'm seeing that is that, this, if we say those 2 sum to x, then this line's total could be expressed as 3x, because this will add to x and this will add to x, and then this line's total can be y, another lot of y, and another lot of y. So that's 3y. So the overall sum of the digits on the 2 blue lines is 3x plus 3y, which we can factor out the 3 of. So it's 3 times x plus y, if you like. So right. Okay, but there's a simpler point than that, which isn't mathematical at all, really. You can't, the biggest digit we can put on a blue line. We can't put 6. Hang on. Hang on, how many cells of blue lines have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's 13, because that one has an extra cell on it, because it's not a 2-cell line. So it's 13. Oh yeah, this is going to do something. This is really beautiful. This is classic Kaktuslav. Right. So here's the first thing I realised. That these blue lines only visit 6 different boxes of the puzzle. This box, this box, this box, this box, this box, and this box. So it's not possible for a 7 or a 9 ever to appear on a blue line. I mean, obviously 8 can't. Because if you did put 7 or 9 on a blue line, you'd have to put 7 7s into only 6 boxes of the grid. So you'll necessarily repeat a 7 in a box, and that will break Sudoku. However, I've just realised you can't use 6 either. Why can't you use 6? Well, this is our friendly red lines, which definitely now have 2 and 6 on them. So, given that the red lines contain 6 6s, How could we possibly put 6 sixes on the blue lines as well? There are only 9 sixes in this Sudoku puzzle. So, what that means is that the maximum digit that you can put on a blue line is the digit 5. And this is magnificent, because you now have to put a 5 onto a blue line. How do we know this? Well, we know this because there are 13 cells of blue lines. And imagine there was no 5 on a blue line. Then the only digits that we can play with on the blue lines are the digits 4, 3, 2 and 1. And if you put 4 4s, 3 3s, 2 2s and a 1 on them, that only adds up to 10 digits. It's not enough. So there are 5 5s on the blue lines. And this is magnificent for the red lines, because now you can't use 3 and 5 as the 2 odd digits that add up to 8. Because you'd use 5 5s on the blue lines and 5 5s on the red lines. So the blue lines definitely contain 1 and 7 and 2 and 6. And I'm not going to the lengths I did yesterday, where I believe somebody told me I pencil marked a cell with 7 different digits. I don't know what's going on, but I did do that yesterday. But that was that puzzle. That puzzle has a lot to answer for. Okay. I don't see how to do that. Okay, so I've pencil marked my red lines. And now my blue lines, hang on, let me just write it. My blue lines contain the digit 5. So there are 5 5s on blue lines. And then there's some collection of the digits 4, 3, 2 and 1, which have to add up to 8. So they must be 4, 3 and 1. How do we know they add up to 8? Well, because there are 13 blue cells altogether, and 5 of them are going to be occupied with 5s. So we've got to occupy the others with digits that sum to 8, but we can only pick from 4, 3, 2 and 1. So it's going to be 4 4s, 3 3s and a 1, and there is no 2 on blue lines. So now we've got 5, 4, 3, 1. But so we could work out the total, couldn't we now, of both lines? So we've got 25 from the 5 5s, 16, so that's 41, 3 3s is 9, 50, 51. So there's 51 of digits on the 2 blue lines, and we said that the 2 lines are divisible by 3. So the x plus the y of the lines is 17. So they're going to have to be 9 and 8, I think. Yeah, because what we've now did, this is hopefully that's clear why that's the case, but I'll try and explain why my brain jumps to that. We know that the sum of, the region sum total here, which I described as x earlier in the video, x plus y, we know is 17 from the maths we just did. Now, we also know that there's at least some 5s on these segments, because I can't put 5 5s over here. I can only put 3 5s. So let's imagine this is a 5. What can we pair it up with? Well, if we did decide we were going to pair it up with the digit 1, then this would sum to 6. So this whole line would sum to 18. But that means that this line has to have segments summing to 11 in order to get us to 51 overall. And you can't make a 2-cell segment sum to 11 if you've only got these digits to choose from. So we're never partnering the 5 up with a 1 on this line. We're always partnering it up with 3 or 4 to make a total of 8 or 9. And whichever one of 8 or 9 is the total for this, the other of 8 and 9 will therefore have to be the total for the other, in order that the two totals together sum to 17, if that makes sense. So, I don't know what this means yet, but I'm sure it means something. 5, 4. Now I do know how to do this actually. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not sure. I thought I knew how to do it. I thought I could think about this and conclude what that had, whether that could have a 5 in it. Yeah, no, I can. Surely I can do that. Yeah, I can. That is the way to do it, but not the way my brain first leapt to it. Right. This cannot have a 5 on it. But the reason is subtle. If this did have a 5 on it, then because I'm only putting 5 5s onto the blue lines, one of these 5 other segments would not have had a 5 on it. But we know we're only picking from the digits 5, 4, 3 and 1. So that segment would have been a maximum of 4 plus 3, which is equal to 7, which is not enough. Look, I can hear the God of history saying, "That was not enough, for I was hungry, and ye fed me not." That's Martin Luther King. I think his letter from a Birmingham jail. I'm not sure. I've got distracted. Oh dear. No, so that doesn't work, does it? Because we can't have a segment that sums to only 7. Because we know that the sums on these lines are 8s and 9s. So this segment is 3 digits, not including a 5 then. And therefore the only way to get to a digit like 8, which we know is the minimum segment sum, would be to include all the other digits, which we'd have to do, which were going to be 1, 3 and 4. So this is the 8 line. This is absolutely amazing. That is a 2 by Sudoku. There is no 1 in there. There's no 2 because I've already put a 2 in the box. So this is a 6, 7 pair. 6, 7 again. That meme keeps coming up in Sudoku. What are those digits? 5 and 9 I'm going to claim. And this line adds up to 8. And we know there's a 5 on that segment and a 5 on that segment, because there are 5 5s on that. Isn't this incredible? So this is 3 5s here. These are 3s and 5s. And there's a 2 here. So there's no 2 on that segment, but there must be an even digit. So that even digit is now a 6 on this segment, which means this is not a 6 or a 2, actually. That's got to be a 1 or a 7. So that's an odd digit. So this is an even digit and is a 2 or a 6. There's a 1, 6, 7 triple. That's quite handy, actually. There's a 1, 6, 7 triple in row 7. These 3 digits. So this digit can't be 1 and it can't be 2. So that's a 3. So this can't be 1 or 3, and that's a 4. Now this is a 1, 3 pair, so this is a 5, this is a 3. Can we do more than that? Maybe. That digit is 5 or 9. It's whatever this one. Oh, hang on, we know that. That's a 9 now, because there's a 3, 5 looking at it. So this is a 5. So this is a 5. This is a stunning puzzle again, Kaktuslav, every time. Now that's not, oh, neither of these are 2s. That's not a 3. That's not a 3. I can see something that emerges from that. Because now Look at those 3 digits. They're rather beautiful. I'll use the purple. I think the purple shows up the most beautifully. On green lines, they are some combination of 1s and 2s, but I'm only allowed to put 2 2s and 1 1 on the green lines. So all the other green line low digits have to be 3, because I've used up my full coterie of 1s and 2s. So that's a 3. That's a 3. Okay, that didn't do as much as I thought it might do. Oh, I'll tell you something which I am going to also make use of. These 2 are different because this is a 2. So one of these is a 1 and one of these is a 2. So let's try and record that fact. What colour should we do that with? No, let's just do orange and purple. Right, because this digit is now seeing a 1 and a 2. I don't know what the order of the orange and purple is, but they are different, so that digit's not 1 or 2. That digit's not 1 or 2. Now, that digit's not 1 because it sees a 1 in its column. What about this one? Don't know yet. I don't know what to look at now. It's probably this line, because I've not given this line enough thought yet. And we know the sum on this line. Oh, yes, of course. This digit, all of the digits on that line are 4s and 5s, and the region sums are 9, aren't they? So these are all 4-5 pairs. That must do something. Yeah, the 5 here is lovely. So this is 5, this is 4, this is 4, this is 5, this is 5, this is 4. Oh, keep going there. Yeah, that gets me another 4 here, look. 4 in one of those 2 cells. 4 in one of these 2 cells. So we get a 4 actually in box 8. 4 in box 6 is placed exactly there. So 4 in the corner. 4 here by Sudoku. How many 4s have I got? I've done all the 4s. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. What about 5s then? Can I do... Oh, I can do some 5s. Yeah, look, 5s are also working. 5s, 3s. 5 here. How many 5s have I got? All of them. Just all of them. 3 I can put here. I'll probably do all the 3s as well. Yeah, I might be able to actually. All the 3s get done. Okay, so I've basically, it's only now, it's only the red lines and something to do with these 2 being different on the green lines. That's all the help I'm going to get from the puzzle, isn't it? So how do we resolve this? That is the next question we're going to have to wrestle with. I don't know the answer yet. Or am I meant to... Is it something to do with 9s maybe? I've only got 1 9 in the grid. But there is a 9 in this domino. There's a 9 in this domino. 8s. 8s we did. We did those early, didn't we? So we don't have to worry about those. Or is it to do with... I don't know. So let's. I've got to rethink the red lines. I suspect. I know that the red lines definitely contain 7 7s and only 1 1. So if I could find where the 1 1 is, well, I know where the 1 1 is. Yeah, that's it. The 1 1 on red lines is in this row, isn't it? I know one of these is a 1. So no other ones can appear on the red lines. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to do it, but it might do something. So yeah, so one of these is a 1. So this isn't a 1, definitely. This isn't a 1. This isn't a 1. This isn't a 1. This isn't a 1. These aren't 1s. And that's not on a red line, so I've got to be much more circumspect about that. Okay. So that's probably good. But I don't think we've quite got enough from that. One of these is definitely a 7. That's true, because we can only put one of the even digits on there. Yeah, in fact, now we should count. Is it 7s then? Is that what we should be doing? Maybe we can work out. No, because we don't know between these two which one has the 7 on it. It could be this one, but this could be a 1. I suspect all the other dominoes of red have to have a 7. So there probably has to be a 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then one of these two. Yeah, so that's obvious. Ah, but that means this has to have a 7 on it. Yeah, let's just double check that logic. I think it's good. So I'm saying that only this line and this 2-cell segment, they have a maximum of 1 7 on them, because we can't put a 7 there and a 7 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 7s only on the others. So there must be a 7 on here, otherwise we couldn't reach a total of 7 7s. So this is not a 7 and this is. Well, is that true? Is that now a 6? Seems to have to be. And then that must be a 7, because we know each domino contains a thingy, being a 7. Okay, so that's very exciting. So this is 2 or 6. No, that's done it. Now look at this row. I've got a 2, 6, 7 triple, so this is a 1, and we know it's different from that one, so that's a 2. So I've got another 6, 7 domino up here. So these digits, I want to say they're 1 and 9. So 9 in row 3 is placed. 9, 1, 1. Does that do it? Yeah, 9 goes here. It is the 9s, you know. 9s are much more helpful than I've got any right to expect. There's a 9 up there. So have we got 7, 9? No, we very much haven't. But I do get a 9 here, and I get a 9 there. So I do end up with 7 9s in the grid. Okay, and let's return our attention now to doing some Sudoku, or should we look at what? Oh, 1. I can place a 1 here. So this isn't a 1. 1 is in, whoopsie, 1 is in one of 2 places. 2 places. Don't know whether it's there or not. That's the, oh, I can place it in box 6 though. So I can place it in box 4. Okay, and that does it. So now this is a 7, which means this is a 6, this is a 1, and that's the final 1 on our red lines. And we can surely just finish all the 1s in the grid. I feel like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, good. Now, how do we finish this off then? So this digit is 2 or 6 by Sudoku. So that becomes a 7, that becomes a 6. That's no longer 6, look. This is a 2 or a 6 by Sudoku. This is a 2 or a 6. There's going to be low. Oh, no, hang on, let's be careful, because I've got a 6 here that I should probably use. So what do I need in this column? 7. That's got to go at the bottom. So that should be a 2. 2, 6, 7, 2. 6, 2, 6. Yeah, that seems right. 6, 7. Again. How how do we do this column? That seems to be, well, what's that digit? We should fill that in. That's a 2. So this is 2, 9. This is 6, 7, 9. This is 2 or 6. And this column is 2 or 7. And that 6 is knocking 6 out here. I mean, I know this is resolved somehow. I just have to work. Oh, hang on, though. Maybe it's not. How many 2s have I put on red lines? Oh, that's it. Oh, this is magnificent. What a finish. What a finish this is. Because this was all looking a bit deadly. But I've only put 1, 2, I think, on red lines. So I have to put another one on because there are meant to be 2 of them. And that can go there. And that means this is 7. That's 9. That's 9. That's 2. That's 7. That's 6. That's 2. That's 6. And that must be logically how to solve. Yes. That is a fantastic puzzle. Kaktuslav, take a bow again. Every single thing that you do by Kaktuslav is just a wonderful way to spend your puzzling time. He is an absolute marvel. Honestly, every single puzzle is a marvel. And I loved that one. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.